Welcome to About Mansfield, your audio newspaper. I'm Steve Casillo with the February 28th, 2024, 211th edition, always broadcasting from the Cellmark Studios. Colleen Daniel is out there in Studio West. We are here with the About Mansfield news team. Coming up today, as always, it's Mansfield news, talk, and information.
And a little later in the episode, you will have a chance to win a $25 gift card to a Mansfield restaurant of your choice with our Mansfield Trivia Question, courtesy of Joe Jenkins Insurance.
Let's take a look at the stories we're covering this week.
School board race gets tighter as one candidate withdraws. Mansfield ISD seeks to spend $700 million with voter approval.
City Council sets noise regulations for the entertainment district, and we'll talk about it in a moment with the mayor.
AT&T says, "We're sorry" to Mansfield customers and beyond. Mansfield ranked one of the best cities to walk your dog in 2024.
In sports, MISD basketball playoffs ramble on.
And in the talk segment, Steve concludes his talk with expat Sarah Zink about her continuing adventures while living in Panama. We are Mansfield's only source for news, talk, and information. This is About Mansfield.
Hey there, it's Luke from Cool Hand Electric. Are you tired of dealing with plugs or lights that just won't cooperate? Well, don't fret. Give us a call. Worried about power outages or surges damaging your precious electronics? We've got you covered. Whether it's a whole house generator or surge protection, our solution-oriented Cool Hands are ready to tailor the perfect option that suits your needs and budget. At Cool Hand Electric, excellence is still cool.
Cool Hand, Cool Hand, Cool Hand, where excellence is still cool.
Are you ready to take advantage of falling mortgage interest rates in the coming months? This is Roger with the Roger and Beth team. With housing demand predicted to increase across the DFW Metroplex, the Roger and Beth team are standing by to help move you and your family forward. No move in your future? That's okay too. It's time for your annual review of your real estate portfolio, and we're happy to help. Contact us at homesinmansfield.com. That's homesinmansfield.com.
Imagine a city where innovation knows no bounds, where dreams take flight and the future unfolds before your very eyes. Welcome to Mansfield, a beacon of growth and a testament to vision. In the heart of Mansfield, a remarkable transformation is underway. But it's not just about the physical landscape. It's about the spirit that drives us forward. A spirit of collaboration that bridges cultures, a spirit of entrepreneurship that fuels prosperity, and a spirit of community that binds us as one. Mansfield is more than just a place. It's a canvas where diversity paints the picture of progress. From art festivals that ignite creativity to tech hubs that redefine boundaries, this city celebrates every voice, every passion. Mansfield, where growth knows no limits and the vision is limitless. Brought to you by the unstoppable spirit of the Mansfield Economic Development Corporation.
Hi, this is Mansfield ISD Superintendent Dr. Kimberly Cantu, and you're listening to About Mansfield.
Welcome back to About Mansfield. This portion of the news is brought to you by the Grandview Event Center in Mansfield.
There's been some recent movement in the school board race in the past week as Place 2 incumbent Desiree Thomas withdrew her name from the ballot. This leaves the seat open to newcomers John Doe Crutchfield or Angel Hidalgo. Thomas posted a statement Thursday on her campaign Facebook page stating, quote, "Due to health issues related to my family, I am taking a step back and focusing on my loved ones. I will serve the remainder of my term, which ends May 4th, 2024, end quote. Thomas has been a school board trustee since 2018, citing her time as, quote, "a unique opportunity to pour into the community that has done so much for me and my family." End quote.
And Colleen, also withdrawing from her respective races, Ann Wydeck, who applied to run for City Council Place 3 against Brent Newsom. You may recall that Wydeck also applied to run for school board back in 2022, a race that she also withdrew from. As a result of Wydeck's withdrawal, candidates for all three council seats are running unopposed. Brent Newsom for Place 3, Juan Fresquez for Place 4, and Julie Short will remain at Place 5. So how does three unopposed candidates affect the May 4th ballot? We'll talk about it coming up in just a few seconds with Mayor Michael Evans in a moment with the mayor.
Also on the ballot this election term is the Mansfield ISD bond election. There will be 5 propositions for voters to decide on, totaling $777 million, which, if they all pass, will involve renovating school facilities, instructional technology, technology, stadium renovation, student program facilities, and Phase 3 of the multipurpose athletic complexes. The proposed projects will touch every campus and facility within the district, with no tax rate increase to those who reside within the Mansfield ISD boundaries. Superintendent Dr. Kimberly Cantu will be a guest on About Mansfield in early April to talk in depth about the 5 propositions.
The Mansfield City Council held a regularly scheduled meeting on Monday evening, and the following opinions of those of Michael Evans may not necessarily reflect those of the Mansfield City Council, as we do every other Tuesday. Top of the morning, Michael Evans.
Top of the morning to you, sir. It's good to be here today.
We started off the city council meeting with the Veterans Memorial.
Yeah, we did. And I'm glad that subject came back up again because members of council, we are pressing forward with actually constructing a Veteran Memorial, hopefully at the Julian Field Park. And we wanted the public to hear about it. And we wanted our veterans to know that we have not forgotten them. We need a Veterans Memorial in our city, and we're going to figure out a way to make that happen, whereas it'll be a place where people can just enjoy remarkable experiences.
Yeah. It's that time of year where the one word that we don't want to hear is audit. But in this case, the audit was good. Yeah,
the audit was good, and it has been for many years. And I am so glad that it is continuing to be good on my watch. This is great news. And of course, we came back with a very positive report. We want our residents to know that we take our fiduciary responsibility very serious. But the report came from a group called Forvis. And our city auditors, again, gave us glowing reviews. And we have to say thank you to Troy Lestina and his entire team. They do a great work for our city. So we appreciate him as our CFO.
Hey, I know that downtown you're working on redevelopment and renovating and sidewalks, maybe coming to parts of downtown.
Yeah, well, we're going to do that because, one of the things that we see and we know is that in the downtown area, we have a dearth in regard to parking, and we want people to be safe, and we don't want them really walking on other people's lawns. So we are going to be working to installing sidewalks in the downtown neighborhoods, that area. Again, those places where people do a lot of parking. We're talking about a $200,000 grant, and that is Community Development Block Grant Funds is where that money comes from. And we take that government money, try to make it work for our residents.
I know that right now we are in the election season for the primaries, which is coming up on Super Tuesday. But the May 4th election for the school board and the city council, that's got some changes to it.
It does have some changes. Hey, listen, I want to thank the voters out there for, again, giving a thumbs up to our team. So that means that in regard to places 3, 4, and 5, they are all unopposed. And that means that the May 4th general election regarding the city, that will be canceled for us. But of course, there are some other important elections out there, and folks need to get out and vote, make their voices heard. But again, thumbs up. Thank you all so very much for trusting the team that I get to work with, and we're together trying to make things happen for you.
That's right. So the school board elections will still take place. The school district bond elections will still take place. That's all on May 4th. Early voting starting in mid-April. But so city council, unopposed.
That's right.
That part of the ballot has been canceled.
That's right. And the people, I believe that it's a mandate where the folks say, keep doing the work that you're doing. And we hope, again, that it's a great work. But yes, we need to support MISD. And again, these are my own opinions, but they need our support.
That's right.
On the bond as well as supporting the school board.
You were a trustee for some time.
For 10 years. And I know the hard work that our faculty and staff do, and our parents, their babies deserve every bit of it.
Let's talk about a zoning change. Debbie Lane and Matlock area?
Yeah. So, for many, many years, there has been about 2.794 acres, to be exact, of property located between the Kroger that's It's more so off Matlock and that property behind the Burger King. Well, actually, we had a first reading of an ordinance approving a change of zoning from single family to planned development. This would be for attached row houses, and it's a new housing product that's coming into the city. We have some, but now we're seeing more, trying to fill that middle housing gap, as they call it. But that's going to take place. Hopefully, we've got a second reading, but so far so good. And that'll be located at 1225 East Debbie Lane. And we've got one more reading coming up, and that's going to be March the 4th.
How many acres was that again?
2.794 acres to be exact.
There you go. You have an update on the data center.
I do have an update on the data center. What we were able to do is to approve a development agreement for that data center that's going to be located at the northeast corner of Heritage Parkway South and Britton Road. And we have an agreement that the property will include a civic space, a large acoustic wall, and landscaping that will provide a visual and auditory benefits. So we're excited about that happening. And there's more to come, more good work to come.
Tell the listeners about the 8 consent agenda items.
Yeah, we had quite a few, but this time our consent agenda items included updating regulations. So regulations for what, Evans? Well, regulations for child care facilities, food establishments, public swimming pools, and spas that are located within the Mansfield Health Inspections program. You know, that department has grown over the past 3 years, and now we are making sure that we cover the bases so that people can have a good, safe environment to live in, to play in, and also to dine in.
And finally, we love noise.
Oh, my goodness.
Or do we?
Yeah. Well, according to what kind of noise it is. Yeah. You know what? During our work session, we discussed noise regulations because bear in mind that, with the insertion of the new entertainment district and the high five recreational venue that's coming to town, we're going to have a not a sound stage, but actually a concert space on the roof of that thing. And, people like to party, but we want to make sure that you don't party us right out of our bedrooms at night. You can listen to all that loud noise. So we'll have a cutoff time at about 1 a.m. in the entertainment district itself. And we also recognize the recent legislative changes that affect accessible parking because now the signs have changed for quote unquote handicap parking. Now they have to have specific language in order for our law enforcement to cite those vehicles that are in violation. So now those signs will also they're going to say that you could be towed. Oh. And business owners have to have those signs in order for our police to come through and cite those folks and for those repeat offenders to be towed away. So we're hoping that people won't be towed away. You know, if you're not supposed to park there, just don't do it and you'll be in good shape.
That is a moment with the mayor.
Yes, and I'm going to see you again next week, I believe.
Oh, that's right, because spring break is coming up, so you've bumped the meeting up a week.
That is correct. So we're going to meet on March the 4th, and we invite everybody out and come and see the business that takes place at City Hall.
Mayor Michael Evans, that's, again, a moment with the mayor. Go forth, and we'll see you next week.
All right, and you go forth and prosper.
After Thursday's nationwide cell phone outage, AT&T apologized and announced that it will be giving customers a credit on their accounts. In a statement released to customers by email and text, AT&T said, quote, "We apologize and recognize the frustration this outage has caused and know we let many of our customers down. To help make it right, we're applying a credit for potentially impacted accounts to help reassure our customers of our commitment to reliably connect them anytime and anywhere," end quote. Starting early Thursday, AT&T customers in Mansfield and elsewhere across the country started seeing the service on their phones switch to SOS mode, which means only emergency calls can be made. By the afternoon, officials in the Dallas-based company said they restored service to all affected customers. After getting the network back running, AT&T officials said the outage to its U.S. cell phone network appeared to be the result of a technical error, not a malicious attack. They blamed the incident on an error in coding, without elaborating. Officials said the refund equals one $5 credit per AT&T account. While $5 seems modest, multiply that by 240 million subscribers, the country's largest wireless carrier is looking at a $1.2 billion tab. Lace up your sneakers and grab your furry friend's leash, Mansfield, because LawnStarter.com has compiled a list of best cities to walk your dog in 2024, and we've made the cut. Picture-perfect paths and safety assurances are just the tip of the tail when it comes to ranking the top cities for doggy strolls. Let's face it, for every doggy parent, sniffing out the smoothest sidewalks is a must. With their noses to the ground, the Lawn Starter crew sifted through 480 cities across the USA. From wag-worthy trails to barktastic parks with rave reviews, from fetching dog-walking services to safety stats that would make your tail wag, no bone was left unburied in the pursuit of the perfect walking wonderlands. And out of the 480 cities reviewed, Mansfield fetched number 19 on the list, outwagging bustling big dog neighbors Austin, Dallas, and Fort Worth, despite having fewer dog parks and trails. Our suburb of Mansfield barked up safer walking conditions for pedestrians and their pooches, in addition to better-rated routes. And who's top dog on the list? Colorado Springs, Colorado. To see the entire list, unleash your curiosity on our website, aboutmansfield.com. Just click on the links tab.
Hey, I want to let you know about an event coming up here in Mansfield. It's on Thursday, March 7th. It's a free community health expo hosted by our friends here at Selmar Corporation. This is a free community event designed to encourage healthy lifestyles, prevent and manage disease, and connect you with resources to ensure that healthy lifestyle. The Carter Blood Care Bus will be here, along with vendors providing vital checks and hearing tests, as well as a massage chair, an oxygen bar, and a lot more. About Mansfield will also be there, so drop by even if it's just to say hi. Again, that's Thursday, March 7th, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. in the Grandview Event Center at 2201 Heritage Parkway. Coming up, MISD basketball playoffs marches on, and we'll talk about it because sports is next.
Are you ready to create unforgettable memories? Picture this: an enchanting event venue nestled amidst breathtaking landscapes with panoramic views right here in Mansfield. The Grandview Event Center is the perfect setting to bring your vision to life. From intimate gatherings to large-scale extravaganzas, the Grandview has flexible spaces to accommodate any occasion, be it a graduation or school function, art exhibition, or birthday or anniversary party. Book your next unforgettable experience at thegrandviewmansfield.com. That's thegrandviewmansfield.com. The Grandview Event Center, where memories are made and dreams become reality. Book your event today.
I'm Philip Washington, Chief Investment Officer of Stonehill Wealth Management and host of the Wealth Building Made Simple podcast. First book I read in college was Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and it changed my life. And since then, I've read tons and tons of books on money. And what I've done is taken those lessons, simplified them, and I talk about those lessons on my podcast, Wealth Building Made Simple. So come hang out with us. We're on every major platform, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and on YouTube. Wealth Building Made Simple.
In sports, Thursday night, it's a battle of the wolves as the Timberview girls basketball team is just 2 games away from a state title. The 39-1 Lady Wolves take on the 27-11 Cedar Park Timberwolves. Side-by-side comparisons, Timberview is a perfect 16-0 in district play, while Cedar Park ended up their district season at 10-4. Timberview outscored Cedar Park in total points throughout their season by almost 700. And here's a biggie. Timberview is ranked number 2 in the state, while Cedar Park did not break the top 100. But as with any team that advances this far into the playoffs, there's no such thing as a walk in the park. Cedar Park did not reach the semifinals based on luck, and we wish the Lady Wolves of Timberview all the best Thursday night. May the best pack win. Incidentally, the winner of that game moves on to the state championship against the winner of the Liberty Red Hawks and the Randall Lions. If I were a betting man, my money would be on the Red Hawks of Frisco. These two teams play Thursday night just prior to Timberview's game, and the state championship will be played this Saturday, March 2nd at 3 p.m. Monday night results in boys basketball playoffs. Lake Ridge outlasted Waxahachie 78-63. The Eagles move on to the next round of playoffs this Friday night in Lufkin and will play the winner of the Cypress Ranch College Park game. And there was one game that was played Tuesday night. It was past our noon deadline. Summit versus Ryan Denton. Be sure to check our Facebook page for the results of that game. If you have a comment about the show, the news, whatever's on your mind locally, the good, the bad, the ugly, doesn't matter. You can reach us by voicemail at 817-435-2938. Again, that voicemail, 817-435-2938. This coming Friday, March 1st, is National Pig Day, a day that hogs the spotlight for the domesticated pig. This holiday brings forth snout-standing events and celebrations at zoos, schools, nursing homes, and even sporty pig festivities across the United States. Pig out parties, porky parades, and gatherings with swine-tastic collectibles are just a few of the snout-standing National Pig Day events. Pigs are no bore when it comes to intelligence, despite common beliefs. These porky pals are clever critters. Some even hog the limelight as household pets, mastering tricks and becoming as smart as a whip. So who's your top hog? Is it Babe, Arnold, Wilbur, Ham, perhaps Miss Piggy? Whoever it may be, don't miss out on the opportunity to go hog wild for your favorite swine this coming Friday on National Pig Day.
Coming up after the break, we turn the page to the features section.
I'm Angel Biasatti, and today we have a special guest joining us, Dr. Memon, a renowned gastroenterologist on staff at Methodist Mansfield Medical Center and Methodist Mansfield News to Know.
Your realtor isn't just here for buying and selling. I'm Beth Steinke, and I can't wait to tell you all the things you should be calling your realtor for today on the Mansfield Real Estate Report.
In this week's Cocktail of the Week, I'll be talking about a harmony of smooth mellow and sharp alertness in one small libation.
We are Mansfield's only source for news, talk, and information. I'm Colleen Daniel, and this is About Mansfield.
This portion of the news was brought to you by the Grandview Event Center in Mansfield.
Hey there, it's Luke from Cool Hand Electric. Are you tired of dealing with plugs or lights that just won't cooperate? Well, don't fret. Give us a call. Worried about power outages or surges damaging your precious electronics? We've got you covered. Whether it's a whole house generator or surge protection, our solution-oriented Cool Hands are ready to tailor the perfect option that suits your needs and budget. At Cool Hand Electric, excellence is still cool.
Cool hand, cool hand, cool hand, where excellence is still cool.
At Methodist Mansfield Medical Center, we've been caring for our home team for over 15 years. Today, you'll find award-winning physicians on the medical staff, advanced neurosurgery, a level 3 trauma center, critical care for newborns, and comprehensive orthopedic care. Methodist Mansfield, delivering the care our friends, neighbors, and home team depend on. That's community, and why so many people trust Methodist.
Congratulations to Leslie Sutherland, who knew that the Mansfield ISD was established when 191 Mansfield voters cast ballots selecting the first Board of Trustees on May 22, 1909. When we come back, this week's trivia question. This is About Mansfield.
Hey, it's Steve Casillo, and we all remember the storm that blew through our town back in June that pelted this community with baseball-sized hail. It did a ton of damage around Mansfield, including my own roof. Regular listeners to About Mansfield have heard Paul Duncan's commercials for Trinity Roofing and Construction, and after the storm, I reached out to him, and boy, am I glad that I did. From the first call to Paul to working with the crew leader, the scheduling department, and the entire construction team, and how how it all played out with my insurance company, working with Trinity Roofing and Construction was a breeze. It's easy to see why they're a platinum preferred contractor with Owens Corning with an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. So if you're thinking on replacing your roof, look no further than Trinity Roofing and Construction. They're a Mansfield-based company, and you can find them on the web at trinityroofingconstruction.com. Again, that's trinityroofingconstruction.com.
Hi, this is Joe Jenkins with Joe Jenkins Farmers Insurance, specializing in auto, home, commercial, and life insurance. I was born and raised here in Mansfield, Texas. We're active in the community, and Mansfield's a town we really care about. Our office has over 30 years' experience in the insurance industry, and we're passionate about what we do and about customer service. For a free quote, please visit our website at joejenkinsinsurance.com or give us a call at 817-472-6058. Once again, that website is joejenkinsinsurance.com.
It is time right now for the highly coveted, wildly popular About Mansfield Trivia Question. If you are the first person to email the correct answer to trivia@aboutmansfield.com, you will receive a $25 gift card to a Mansfield restaurant of your choice. It's brought to you by Joe Jenkins Insurance. Whether you're looking for homeowners, auto, commercial, or any other type of insurance, Joe has helped Mansfield area residents understand the insurance coverage that best fit their needs since 2010. You can find him on the internet at joejenkinsinsurance.com. I've mentioned this before, not everyone wins on a Wednesday. So if you're hearing this on Thursday, Friday, or whenever you hear it, give it a shot. You may be taking home a $25 restaurant gift card. Colleen, it's your turn.
Well, Steve, in 1958, the city changed the name of downtown's north-south thoroughfare to Main Street. This week's trivia question is, what was Main Street called prior to 1958? Email your answer to trivia@aboutmansfield.com. Again, what was Main Street called prior to 1958? Good luck, and thanks to Joe Jenkins Insurance for the gift card.
I'm Jason Moore, Executive Director of Mansfield Economic Development Corporation, and you're listening to About Mansfield.
Welcome back to About Mansfield, your audio newspaper. Let's open up the features section. Angel Biasatti has the details on an upcoming wellness event in Methodist Mansfield. News to know. Angel?
Today, we have a special guest joining us, Dr. Memon, a renowned gastroenterologist on staff at Methodist Mansfield Medical Center. We're hosting Stomp Out Colon Cancer, an event that helps promote colon cancer awareness. Welcome, Dr. Memon.
Thank you for having me.
We're excited about the upcoming event at Methodist Mansfield Medical Center aimed at raising awareness about colon cancer. Can you tell our listeners more about it?
The event is on March 2nd, which is a Saturday from 9 in the morning to 11 o'clock. We are hosting that event at Methodist Mansfield Medical Center in conference room A and B. And it's a fantastic opportunity for the community to come together and learn more about the colon cancer while having some fun.
Sounds like a great event. What can attendees expect for this free event?
Well, the community members can have a chance to walk through a giant-size inflatable colon, which is both educational and eye-opening. We'll have an informative education sessions about colon cancer, and attendees can meet and greet our talented team of gastroenterologists and colorectal surgeons. Plus, in addition, we also are organizing a 1-mile walk around the exterior of the hospital to stomp out colon cancer.
I understand that the recommended age for a colon cancer screening has gone from 50 to 45. Dr. Memon, should it be lowered?
In the last few years, what we have noticed is that there's a steep rise in the colon cancer being diagnosed in patients under the age of 50. At present, about 10% of the patients that are diagnosed with colon cancer are under the age of 50. Colon cancer has become the leading cause of death, cancer-related death in patients who are men who are under the age of 50, and the second leading cause of death in women who are under the age of 50. We don't know why it is happening. Why is the shift happening? There are some genetic factors and there are some environmental factors, but research is going on. But unfortunately, our resources does not allow us to lower it under the age of 45. My message to everyone is to get screened if any of your family members who are in the age group that needs to be screened, get them screened, because screening can prevent a colon cancer, and a colonoscopy can be just a preventative and diagnostic and curative also. If you have a small cancer at the time of colonoscopy, we can also remove that. We also need to know that we are behind in screening for the colon cancer, and average screening rate is about 65% or less in United States. Some states are higher than 65, but most of them are below 65. And if you look at the breast cancer and the prostate cancer screening, they are in a high 80s range. So we are behind in screening for colon cancer, and it is a rising cancer that needs to be more screened.
And to all our listeners, let's come together and stomp out colon cancer. And I hear there will be some giveaways and maybe a door prize?
Yes, indeed. We have to make this event both informative and enjoyable for everyone. There will be plenty of giveaways, and one lucky attendee will win an exciting door prize.
And I understand there'll be colon cancer T-shirts available for purchase?
Absolutely. We are offering colon cancer T-shirts for just $10 each. It's a great way to show your support for the cause.
Fantastic. So mark your calendars, folks. Stomp out colon cancer. It's happening Saturday, March 2nd from 9 to 11 at Methodist Mansfield Medical Center. Thank you for joining us today, Dr. Memmon.
Thank you for having me, and hope to see you all there.
That's Methodist Mansfield News to Know. I'm Angel Biasatti reporting for the About Mansfield podcast.
Realtor Beth Steinke is here with information on why your Realtor is your one-stop shop for more than just buying and selling houses in the Mansfield Real Estate Market Update. Beth?
About 5 years ago, I sold a property to this sweet couple, and for all 5 years that they lived in the home, I mean to tell you, they never called me one time. But recently, they had to relocate across country, and they asked me, is it okay to ask our realtor in South Carolina where we could board our dogs while we're looking at houses? And I said, yes, of course. They will love to answer that question for you. So I thought I'd better talk about all the things that your realtor can help you with. Partnering with a realtor means getting a whole lot more than just a buying or selling agent. They're your all-in-one real estate wizard, ready to tackle whatever you put in front of them. Let's dive into the less talked about magic that a realtor brings to the table. Picture this. You're not just getting a guide for buying and selling. You're teaming up with the Swiss Army knife of real estate wisdom and services. Let's break it down. Number one, beyond the sale insights. Think of your realtor as your personal real estate guru, one you should have on speed dial. We've got the scoop on the market, we can spot investment gold mines, and even guide you on a new lease for your business space. It's like having a market whisperer by your side helping you make smart moves. Number two, renting made easy. You've got a place to rent out, your realtor can be your matchmaker, finding you perfect tenants, negotiating the nitty-gritty of the lease terms, and managing all your paperwork, and so much more. Or help you buy your first rental property and provide significant education around real estate investment. Number three, smooth moves for relocators. Moving towns or even across country, we've got your back. Did you know that the number one reason people move is to be closer to family? We help so many people make moves for those reasons and many others too. So if you're moving into the area, we'll help you figure out the best spots to live, introduce you to the neighborhood, and even point out where to get the best coffee and to get your nails done. It's like having a local bestie before you even make the move. But if you're moving out of the area, we'll connect you with one of our besties, someone that we know in the area you're moving that can help you with all the things. The Service Whisperer. For those who need a specialist, whether it's HVAC, roofer, plumber, flooring company, or any other thing you can think of, weed control, lawn maintenance, security company, realtors can take that load off your shoulders. They have all the people at their fingertips so that you can get that project moved into the done column quicker. Number five, flip or flop advisor. You're thinking about sprucing up your place? Your realtor knows exactly what upgrades will give you the biggest bang for your buck. We're like the home makeover guru you never even knew you needed, and we're happy to do it. Number six, your community Rolodex. Realtors are super connected. You need a trustworthy lawyer, financial advisor, chiropractor? We've got you. It's like having VIP access to the best in the biz. Number seven, employment counselor. We don't just matchmake houses, we matchmake people. I mean wonderful people that just moved into the area or need to find a job opportunity or make a change. Our clients' vocations are diverse, and it's amazing the connections that can happen if you just ask. Above all, your realtor is a key connector in the community. Whether you want to know what they're building up on the corner of Debbie and Walnut Creek, or you want to know where the best park is for the littles, your realtor welcomes your call or text anytime. Now let's get to this week's Mansfield Real Estate Market Update. As of February 26th, there are 144 active and available homes for sale in Mansfield, excluding new construction. Homes this week range from a $200,000 investor special downtown on nearly a half acre, with the list topping out at $1.8 million. Last week, only 9 homes sold in Mansfield, and they ranged between $300,000 and $600,000. Those homes were on the market for an average of 26 days. Do you have a real estate question I can answer? Send me a message via email to info@aboutmansfield.com. For the About Mansfield podcast, I'm Beth Steinke with Century 21 Judge Fight.
Shaken or stirred, you know it's going to be good as Brian Certain focuses on the bourbon espresso martini in the cocktail of the week. Brian.
In this week's cocktail of the week is the bourbon espresso martini. Yes, you heard me right. We're using bourbon in a cocktail. And this is our final week talking about one of the OGs of cocktails, the martini. I teased this when we first started 4 weeks ago, but today, instead of using the typical gin or vodka, we're going to be introducing bourbon into last week's cocktail, the espresso martini. The espresso martini gets a spicy, spirituous upgrade with the addition of bourbon whiskey in the place of vodka. The bourbon's caramel and vanilla pairs beautifully with roasted espresso and the sweet coffee liqueur. This adapted cocktail still packs the stimulating caffeine, but with a warm, smooth bourbon backbone. While the origins of the traditional vodka martini have been traced back to the 1980s, the earliest origins of a bourbon espresso martini are much more elusive. Some point to pioneering bar owner Dale DeGroff, who decided to substitute vodka with the bourbon in his espresso cocktail in the late 1990s. But the richer, more flavorful nature of bourbon actually appeals to bartenders like me and cocktail aficionados looking for a spin on this beautiful cocktail. The vanilla and oak notes of bourbon mingle sublimely with the bitter note espresso and the sweet chocolatey Kahlua. Why does bourbon work so well in an espresso martini while vodka falls flat? Well, firstly, the flavors of sipping bourbon already complement the notes found in coffee. Caramel, vanilla, roasted nuts, charred oak. These flavors mesh beautifully with the natural taste of espresso. Secondly, bourbon's sweetness stands up to the espresso's inherent bitterness, while still allowing for the coffee flavors to shine. The sugars in the bourbon balance out the tannins in the espresso. Vodka, virtually flavorless, adds really nothing to that cocktail except some spirit. And finally, bourbon's slightly syrupy, silky texture pairs nicely with the dense creaminess of a Kahlua liqueur. Together, they create a rich, mouth-coating cocktail that still finishes clean from the espresso, but gives you the complexity of sipping bourbon, which completely elevates this drink. So whether you're enjoying this as a brunch cocktail or a post-dinner drink, the bourbon espresso never disappoints me. But while I'm giving out all the directions, don't worry about taking notes. I'll always be posting them all on bourbongospel.com. So today is the bourbon espresso martini. You need 2 ounces of bourbon, 1 ounce of freshly brewed espresso. Remember the clue from last week, you can also use cold brew. You're going to use 1 ounce of Kahlua and a ½ ounce of brown sugar syrup. Don't forget the coffee beans. So the first thing you're going to do is pour your single or double shot of espresso, then add that, the bourbon, the Kahlua, the brown sugar syrup, to a shaker glass filled with ice. Shake vigorously. Again, remember the clue. When your hand hurts, that's when it's time to stop. Then double strain into a chilled coupe glass, and then garnish with how many beans? Not 1, not 2, but 3 coffee beans on top. So be sure to use high-quality, mildly sweet bourbon, something like Larceny or Woodford or Four Roses, that will help complement the coffee and chocolate flavors. Finely crafted bourbons with vanilla and caramel notes work beautifully with this cocktail. Always adjust proportions to your taste and shake this energizing cocktail anytime you need a pick-me-up. So join me next month when I'll be focusing on the spirit from the South and cocktails made from it. But as always, I'm open to hear your take and your input. You can reach me at brian@bourbongospel.com. And until next week, as Mark Twain said, too much of anything is bad, but too much whiskey is barely enough. Reporting for the About Mansfield podcast, I'm Brian Certain.
We're back in 60 seconds with Steve's interview with Sarah Zink.
Hey, it's Steve Casillo, and are you ready to make your voice heard? Want to bring out your ideas to life through captivating conversations and engaging visuals? Look no further than Podcast Mansfield Recording Studio, your one-stop destination for award-winning audio and video podcast recording. Equipped with cutting-edge microphones, crystal clear audio recording, and high-definition cameras, we're here to turn your ideas into engrossing content. But it's not just about the equipment. We're dedicated to bringing out the best in your content. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, we're here to elevate your podcasting game. We'll even help you with intro music, transitions, voiceover, and that professional polish that sets your podcast apart. So whether you're into interviews, storytelling, or simply sharing your expertise, Podcast Mansfield can help bring your podcasting dreams to life. Visit podcastmansfield.com. Podcast Mansfield, where creating your podcast masterpiece has never been easier.
Hi, I'm Corey Berlin, 2022 Boston Marathon finisher, and you're listening to About Mansfield.
Welcome back to another segment of About Mansfield. I'm Steve Casillo. As we make the transition from news to talk, today we present part 2 and the conclusion of our conversation with former Mansfield resident turned Panama denizen, Sarah Zink. Enjoy. What's one of the misnomers about living in Panama?
People think it's just so third world. If I've heard it once, I've heard it 5 times just since being here. Oh my gosh, isn't it third world? I think we need to, as Americans, reframe our concept of foreign countries and third world, right? What exactly makes it third? What would exactly make it third world that is so significantly different from the U.S.? The healthcare is better, the culture is better, the people are kinder. The fact that maybe the electricity drops out every now and then. Yeah. Well, I can tell you, let's look back at 2021 in Texas. I don't know.
Snowmageddon,
Snowmageddon, 250 people dead,
right? Kind
of thing, right? There are inconveniences that come with a growing country, but I'd point out that Panama has only been a country, a democracy, for less than a generation. So I think people get a little snotty that everything is so great in the United States, but it is.
But what is when they throw out that term "third world"? What does that mean in their mind? Because you tend to throw
here's what it comes down to for me. You throw your toilet paper in the trash versus down the toilet.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. I've been to 2 people's houses here in Mansfield who have plumbing problems, and guess where we throw the toilet paper?
In the trash can.
Right? So I would just say to you, be careful how, and I say this to anybody, I'm not trying to encourage anybody to move who isn't looking at it. But what I am saying is I think we need to reframe our perspective of what makes a country third world.
So you're not living in a cardboard box and your transportation is not by donkey.
Right? No, we live in a 1,700 square foot house that we pay $1,025 a month for. Our electric bill is $20 a month. Water, $6 a year. The owner pays it by the year.
Wow.
Everything, as I said, I've got farms delivering fresh fruits and vegetables, and you could also live in the city. You can live on the beach. There's all these ecosystems, but I just think what ends up happening, the only thing that was brave about what we did was that we broke the bonds of what people consider a normal life. All right, you're raised in America, you grow up in America. Oh my God. You're leaving everything you've known. And I'm like, well, I don't know,
And we talked about this last time where your kids are within X amount of hours by airplane. And so it's no different than living, say, on the East Coast or the West Coast. If you're a flight to Panama is not that many hours.
Yeah, no. So you are correct in that a flight to Panama from Miami is 2 hours.
Yeah.
So we don't live in Miami. A flight to Panama from Houston, from here, it will be 12-hour, 16-hour flights because I have to go from here to Houston, sit around in Houston, go from Houston to Panama City. And then, so coming here, we left at 9:30 in the morning and didn't land in DFW until 11:30 that night. It can be cumbersome, these little trips, but there are people who literally are only in Panama for a few months out of the year just to get away from the cold. What I would say to people, though, is to be adventurous. I mean, to look at what else could be true. And particularly, I think what makes it good for us is that they have really great veteran services down there. And because Larry's 100% disabled, the veteran services that we get down there are fantastic.
The purpose of this interview was not to try to talk Mansfieldians or other Americans to move to Panama, but if someone was interested in listening to your comments and going, yo, you know what, I think I'll check that out. What was the process that you went through, and if you had any advice to those that were even remotely thinking about moving to another country?
I think anybody who's unhappy should think about what else could be true. You know, where else could I live? I don't know that there's anywhere in the U.S. that would be comparable to Panama, but I would say you've got to figure out what are your 5 things. Mm-hmm. So for us, the 5 things were, you know, safety, healthcare, blah, blah, blah. And then you have to say, well, what fits that? We traveled a lot before we retired. We looked at quite a few countries, but none of them had everything. But if we didn't have that set of criteria, we would have had no idea that Panama was right for us. So
True.
A friend of ours, she and her husband had been looking at Panama for years. And funny story, February 19th, right after Snowmageddon, 2021, my friend said something about moving to Panama, and I said, tell me more. A week later, we decided to move. 6 months later, we were moving. We were literally, on the plane.
Right.
So I would say to anybody, you have to figure out what are your 5 things or 4 things or 8 things, whatever. What's the criteria that will make your life what you want it to be?
Because your 5 things are not the same as your next door neighbor's 5 things.
Right. Somebody may not care about the exchange rate. You should, but maybe you won't. Maybe healthcare is not a big deal because you're whatever. Maybe your concern would be, can I work remotely? Because you're not ready to retire. Because there's a lot of people who live down there who are not retired, who work remotely. But then there are services. We happen to use a service called Panama Relocation Tours, but there are other services. Some people love Costa Rica. Some people love Mexico. I mean, there's just a lot. Man, I talked to a guy. I've met people who are expats who've moved to other countries because they decided that I don't want to get old like that. I don't want to age in this place.
Right.
And, there's a guy who's gone to Portugal and he is just deliriously happy. Another friend went to Australia. I've got a friend in Germany. I mean, again, what are your 5 things?
The Australians are actually very friendly people. When you're on their turf, they're welcoming.
The scorpions, snakes, spiders, and other animals, not so much.
Big.
Everything else is trying to kill you, but the Australians are really nice.
The spiders are about the size of your fist.
Right?
Yeah. Who cares?
Yeah, well, we've got our share of critters down in Panama. It just really depends on where you live.
Oh, and the kangaroos kick.
Oh, yeah, the kangaroos are going to...
What were some of the other countries that you considered before narrowing it down to Panama?
Oh, man, we were looking at Bali. We were looking at Belize. We were looking at Cozumel.
Did you say Bali?
Yeah.
That's like halfway around the world.
Yeah.
Huh.
We looked at Roatan.
Okay.
What else? Roatan,
Bali's got monkeys, though.
Yeah, well, it's just too far.
Yeah.
I mean, But, I mean, you're looking at places where expats go.
Okay.
We also, again, just felt like Panama did have a fair share of Americans there. Let me rephrase. English speakers. There's a lot of Canadians there. Mm-hmm. Folks from European countries. I really wanted to go to someplace, like Roatan or Cozumel. We really wanted to go to Cozumel. But again, You got to have the 5 criteria, or 6 or 8 or 3 or whatever. And it didn't make all 5. So
Panama was it?
Yeah, shockingly. I mean, I hadn't even heard of Panama before 2021. Hadn't even considered it as a place to retire.
Well, there's that song Panama Red, which everybody,
right?
Who doesn't know Panama Red?
I mean, there's even actually a liquor called Panama Red.
Ooh.
There's a beer called Panama Red. There's a coffee down there called Panama Red. And did I mention that we are like a big coffee producer?
Are you?
In Panama. Yeah, Boquete, actually. Coffee farms everywhere, chocolate farms everywhere.
And you're a coffee connoisseur?
Yeah, not even close. I'm like a mild coffee drinker. We drink something called Panama Joe. So people who are like coffee aficionados are probably, who know coffee, are going, what? But
it's not Panama.
They make geisha coffee down there.
It's not Panama Jose.
Panama Fred.
You had mentioned you went through the process. How to find out more information about moving to Panama?
I would say if you were specifically interested in going to Panama, I have been satisfied with the company that we used, which is called Panama Relocation Tours. So you can just do PanamaRelocationTours.com. They're on Facebook, and their actual website has tons of videos. There's other companies. That's just the one we've used, and we were satisfied. So some people, I will say, we moved to Panama sight unseen. We had never been there. Partly because we've traveled enough. You've been to so many tropical countries, you pretty much know what they're like. And then I'm a research fanatic. I had literally researched all the different microclimates, and I had even picked the neighborhood. And
wow.
I mean, I knew where we needed to be, and it all worked out.
Did you pick the house?
Well, quite honestly, unseen? Yeah. We rented the house sight unseen because we knew the people who were moving out. So I'm a woo-woo girl. Uh-huh. I'm not religious. I'm spiritual. And we had made a list. I told Larry, you don't get what you want because you don't ask specifically for what you want. So how do you know you got the answer if you just said, hey, send me something good, universe, right?
Yeah.
So we made a list of everything we wanted in a house. And this was March before we moved. And it was extremely specific. And when we shared it with the realtors and the people who would help you find a place to move, we were chuckled at. That little, if they could have patted me on the head, from Panama, they would have. Oh, isn't that cute? Yeah, no. But we just said, well, that's what we're asking for. And I've learned you always ask for what you want, and then you say, or something better.
Oh, yeah.
And I didn't know that, but I do now. So I started before we moved to Panama, or something better. So about 6 weeks before we were going to move, we still didn't have a place. And some friends of ours who lived in this house were moving, and they hated it. They hated this house. She's like, you don't want this house. I'm like, well, tell me about the house. She's giving me this description, and I'm going, check. It was everything on our list. And then when we get there, or something better was, it had this big-ass bodega. It had a 16 by 20 room that I could turn into a courtroom, fenced in back. I mean, it had everything we wanted plus some.
It sounds wonderful.
It is fantastic.
So it was better than what you were looking for.
It was better than what we want. It was everything we asked for plus some.
1,700 square feet. And you rented this even before going there?
Yeah, oh yeah. When we got there the first night, that's where we went. We met the house. We saw the house we had rented the first night. We got there about midnight.
If I recall, Maria, when we moved here, it's 20 years ago. This year. Yeah.
Okay, congrats.
20 years ago, I believe Maria, my wife, did not see the house before we bought it.
Nice.
Now, isn't it usually the wife that makes decisions on the kitchen has to be this?
Trusted you?
She trusted me.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah.
Say that again?
Yeah. And we came out and we saw the house. We had already purchased it. And we are still living in that house.
It's a nice house. I've been to your house.
Well, thank you.
Yeah,
thank you.
It's a nice house.
It's 1,700 square feet. We pay 1,017. No, I'm just.
I was like, you wish. That's how much you're paying for your what is that called? Mortgage. Oh, and can we just talk about insurance? Holy crap!
And
you
property
guys.
tax. Okay,
you
let's
guys
talk about
out the wazoo for this stuff.
Let's try. Okay, property insurance.
We don't.
You don't have property insurance.
We don't pay property insurance because the houses are all. So here's the thing: there are probably people, from our perspective, renters insurance in Panama doesn't make sense. The houses are built out of concrete.
Mm-hmm.
The house is not going to burn.
It's a rock.
It's a rock. So if a fire started, it would start with your stuff, and so if there was an electrical fire, it's in the wall. I mean, we've watched some of these houses be built, and it's just like, what? I mean, and they do the concrete because of termites.
Yeah.
And the humidity. I will say that was another thing we had to really get used to was mold.
Oh.
We're in a tropical country. Now, we don't have mold like some people have mold, but you've got to be aware of your stuff and, kind of keep an eye on it. We've had weird things mold, like the leather boots we've taken didn't mold, but a cloth cap did. We're like,
wow.
What? A cloth cap that had never been worn.
No property insurance, real estate tax.
So I'm not familiar with that because we rent.
Because you're right.
But I can tell you by way of example, ballpark me what you pay for your car insurance.
I don't know. My wife pays it.
There, it's between $600 and $700 a year
for the insurance for
your car.
For your car,
full coverage.
But you don't have a car.
No, but I'm saying we were paying before we moved. We were paying $300 a month, and we're two old people driving two old cars.
Driving like old people.
Like old people do. I mean, a truck and a little, I don't know what I had, a Kia, and we're paying $250, $300 a month for car insurance. So the amount of insurance that you carry in the U.S. is we dropped so much insurance when we moved. We were like, okay, we don't need car insurance. Okay, fine. We don't need all this health insurance. We don't need all this other insurance. And oh man, we had insurance on that. Holy crap. I have health insurance, major health insurance down there because it's so cheap. It's $20 to go to the doctor. And I told you about the hospital visit, but I have major medical and I pay $1,400 a year for it.
Wow.
So, I mean, just the difference in insurance, this whole concept of insurance. So
it's a tax on top of a tax.
Yeah, we could have a whole show about tax me on what I make, and then tax me when I want it back, and tax me when I have to give it to you again. And
That's
right.
Yeah.
Oh, and can we talk about why I even had to come here?
I thought it was to visit family, but
not even close.
Sarah, why are you even here in Mansfield?
Well, that is a fabulous question.
It's
even better than the other question.
Okay.
So here's a funny story. If you ever moved to any foreign country and you're in Texas, you can renew your license online once. Then you have to come back.
Which license?
Your driver's license.
Okay.
Once. And then you have to come back in person the next time. So you can only renew online once. That's a little, tidbit of information that I wish I would have known before we moved, because that's literally the only reason I had to come back. You can't have a bank account or credit cards without a proof of residency.
Right.
And without my driver's license, your passport isn't considered, it's a proof of
ID.
Yeah, you're a resident of the United States, but
Right.
you have to have like a permanent residence kind of thing.
So you had to come back. You're here for 3 weeks.
Yep. I'm here for 3 weeks because I'm traveling with a friend who's here for 3 weeks.
I thought maybe your appointment at DPS was 3.
Can we just talk about that cluster? So I decided in December I had to get this done. I go online. So someone said, well, do you have your appointment? I'm like, no, I'm just going to walk in.
Yeah, good luck.
No, you're not.
Yeah, good luck with that.
And so I go online and talk about gobsmacked. I mean, I had to take a Xanax. She said, navigate this system of you got to pick your day and time. And do you want Tuesdays or Thursdays? And then you realize this combination that you pick of like what day you want and what location is pulling up this set of choices that you have, which changes depending on the variables that you plug in at the beginning. Now, let's talk about the universe thing. I couldn't get anything earlier than the 14th, which is of February, which is why I went ahead and bought my ticket for 3 weeks because I thought she came the end of January. And so I thought, well, I'm just going to ride with her. We'll go, get this thing done. And, but I was stressing because I wanted it taken care of at the beginning of the trip. So like 9 o'clock at night, the universe wakes me up. You need to go online. You need to change your appointment. No, I'm sleeping. No, get up and go change your appointment. I get online. I pick Weatherford.
Yeah.
I had picked Waxahachie, but I picked Weatherford. 31st. Wide open. Like I could have picked any time I wanted on the so I don't understand this system. I don't know how it works. I feel sorry for you guys. At the beginning of my search, couldn't find anything before April.
Oh, wow.
And I had already bought my tickets to come. So this whole system was just.
So you're done.
Yeah. And I would just like to all the people, I made a vulgar gesture.
Yeah, you gestured.
Yeah, I just gestured. To all the people who told me like their horror stories about how hard it was to get your driver's license renewed. Well, mine had already expired, so I was panicking anyway, because in 22 years, I've never had a license expire. And then, these horror stories. And then if you go on the website for Texas DOT, they give you this list of 185,000 documents that they might ask you for, but we may not. And I'm coming from another country, so I got to bring everything.
Right, it's that one document, that, you know what?
You need the certified copy of your mother's maiden name, proof of birth, blood type. I mean, this weird document you may not have. So I bring this huge folder because I'm just anxious. And
who has a copy, an original copy of your birth certificate?
Well, I do now.
Original?
I have an original copy. Your sound guy, original copy.
Well, he's like 12.
Well, okay, he's 12. Yeah, they just gave it to him yesterday. Oh, here, on your way out of the hospital, take this. But I mean, an original copy of my Social Security card, certified copy of my marriage license.
Right.
I'm like, what the hell, people? It's a driver's license. So I have all this stuff. I have all this stuff. I go in.
Yeah.
What do they ask me for? My passport. Solamente. That's it. And I'm like, so I'm sitting at the desk with this lady, and I said, can I just go ahead and show you all my papers? Because I brought all this. So can we just look at it?
Your Spanish has gotten better.
Poco. Mi español es poco.
Yeah.
Mejor.
Okay. It's a little better.
Mi maestra de español. She comes on Wednesdays. We practice for an hour, and she's brutal. I have to say something 185 times until I get it right.
That's all right.
I love it because I think it's respectful to learn the language. And man, I am just like such a source of humor for my Spanish friends. But you try.
That's good.
It's the best part. And they just are joyful that you're trying.
In the minute or so that we have left, I'm just going to open up the mic if you want to give a shout out, if you want to give, a tip or something on living in Panama, if you want to, just anything that's on your mind.
So I'll tell you what's on my mind.
What's on your mind, Sarah?
The biggest difference, and this is a little more serious, but the biggest difference that I can really tell is just stress. Mm-hmm. Stress here versus stress in the U.S. And I know this year in particular, with it being an election year, is batshit craziness. And it doesn't really matter what side you're on. I would just remind people that life is short, and we get wound up over things. Will never change the world from the top down. It's true in Panama, and it's true here, that the difference is made from your community and how you interact with your community, and that spreads out. You're not going to change things from the top down. You have to change them from the bottom up. So I have seen things here in Mansfield that are joyful, and I have seen some changes that are WTF. Mm-hmm. And so I would just say, just for people to be mindful of the brevity of life. So
I'm really happy that you've cleaned up your language here.
Yeah, well, I'm trying.
For this podcast.
I'm really working on it, man, because that's like beep.
One who created a Facebook page of FFS.
Yeah. Well, it's true, but it's a private one now.
It is a private one.
It's got to be. Yeah, now everybody's going to be going, what's FFS? They're going to be Googling FFS, right?
For fun's sake.
Right, for fun's sake. That's right.
And you're smiling. You look healthy.
I feel good. We didn't even talk about all that plastic surgery I had done down in Panama. There's session number 2.
That's a future.
Right?
That's a future episode.
Yeah. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Coming up next week on About Mansfield, we will visit with another fine Mansfield resident. You'll just have to tune in to find out who it is. In the meantime, this is the place where you will hear the latest Mansfield news, talk, and information. Until then, don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, share, love, or support this podcast if you haven't already, so you never miss an episode. It's free and it's easy. Head on over to our website, aboutmansfield.com. We will never send you any spam. We promise.
About Mansfield is recorded at Podcast Mansfield Recording Studio. Hosts Steve Casillo and Colleen Daniel. Moment with the Mayor feature, Michael Evans. Methodist Mansfield News to Know, Angel Biasatti. Mansfield Real Estate Market Update, Beth Steinke. Cultural Arts Calendar, Tim Roberts. Cocktail of the Week, Brian Certain. Post-production editing, mixing, and mastering, Steve Casillo and Andrew Miner.
This podcast is copyrighted by Podcast Mansfield Recording Studio for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this podcast without written consent is, you guessed it, it's prohibited. We thank you all for listening. On behalf of the entire news team, I'm Steve Casillo, and this is About Mansfield.